All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating and honestly, super timely. We're going to look at how the world's most overburdened justice system is planning to use artificial intelligence, but without letting robots totally take over the courtroom. We're basically mapping out the strict new boundaries being drawn between human judgment and machine efficiency.
So picture this for a second. Would you actually trust an AI with your freedom? Just imagine walking into a courtroom and having an algorithm, not a real living human judge, deciding your bail, or worse, your jail time. It sounds like straight-up science fiction, right? But with how fast AI is advancing, this is a very real, literal dilemma that judicial systems around the world are staring down right now.
And to really understand why this is happening, we have to look at the sheer scale of the problem. 49.4 million. That is the staggering case backlog in India's subordinate courts as of mid-2026. And hey, if you add the high courts and the Supreme Court to that mix, the numbers climb even higher. It's essentially this massive, system-wide traffic jam for justice. A system bleeding this much time desperately needs a tourniquet, you know?
I mean, when you have over 300,000 cases that have been pending for more than 2 decades, the numbers kind of make the argument for us. The system absolutely needs an efficiency intervention. So AI isn't really being looked at as some flashy luxury, it's being seen as a desperately needed tool to finally clear out that backlog.
Section 1. The new AI court rules, fixing the traffic jam.
So this isn't just hypothetical anymore. What we're looking at here is the actual 2026 draft regulations formulated by the Supreme Court's AI Committee. Chaired by Justice P.S. Narasimha, this 57 regulation document is India's very first comprehensive framework to officially and safely bring AI right into the judicial ecosystem. Now, the absolute golden rule of this entire framework? Human primacy. The draft explicitly states that AI must remain strictly subservient to human judgment and judicial authority. This means the tech acts purely as an assistant. The ultimate authority to actually determine matters of law, fact, and justice stays exclusively with a human judicial officer. Basically, code cannot replace conscience.
So, just to quickly recap that, it's algorithms for efficiency, humans for liberty. The human is always in the driver's seat.
Section 2. Where AI draws the line, assistive versus adjudicative. Okay, so the regulations draw a very hard boundary here. On the permitted side, AI can be used for the administrative heavy lifting, right? Things like translating documents, managing schedules, conducting legal research, or running chatbots to guide litigants. But then, on the prohibited side, AI is completely banned from issuing verdicts, evaluating witness credibility, or doing any sort of risk scoring to predict if someone will reoffend. It absolutely cannot decide someone's flight risk or their bail eligibility. No way.
And that brings us to a major ban explicitly laid out in the rules: black box AI. Now, this is an AI system whose internal processes are completely hidden from us. It's kind of like a magic 8-ball, you know? It gives you an answer, but it totally refuses to show you its math. The regulations clearly state that no undisclosed, opaque, or unexplainable AI system can be used if it affects the lawful rights or personal liberty of any party.
To sum that up, AI can totally handle the paperwork, for sure, but it is completely barred from anything impacting personal liberty, and its reasoning must remain 100% transparent at all times.
Section 3. When the machine messes up, liability and infrastructure.
All right, first, we've got to talk about AI hallucinations. This is the industry term for when a computer essentially gets confused and then confidently makes up a fake legal precedent, or cites a judgment that literally does not exist. And the Supreme Court has already flagged some really serious concerns about the misuse of AI resulting in these hallucinated decisions making their way into an actual courtroom.
So, how do the draft rules handle these errors? With a policy of strict liability. Essentially, if you submit AI-generated material that turns out to be false or fabricated, you cannot blame the AI. The human lawyer, litigant, or judicial officer bears full responsibility. Now, legal experts are pointing out a pretty massive contradiction here. Holding an officer personally liable for an inevitable technological error, like a hallucination from an officially approved AI, well, it raises some big concerns about fairness and arbitrary punishment. It's a very strict you break it, you bought it policy, and honestly, it has a lot of legal scholars worried.
And then there's our second major complication, a massive infrastructure gap. Right now, high courts are facing a 27.5% judge shortfall, and that's sitting alongside a really severe digital divide. While the eCourts project has done great work connecting thousands of courts, the actual digital readiness is still highly uneven. As experts point out, pushing complex AI onto courts that might lack basic digital literacy, a stable internet connection, or adequate cybersecurity, well, that could simply move the errors to places where they're much less visible.
So, while the software is incredibly advanced, the hardware and the human infrastructure are definitely still catching up. And holding humans strictly liable for computer errors has a lot of folks worried that this could actually stifle the adoption of the very technology the courts are desperately trying to implement.
Section 4. Real courtroom AI examples. It's already here.
You might be thinking this is all in the future, but we can actually see AI at work step by step right now. Take step 1, SUVAs. This tool translates incredibly complex Supreme Court judgments into various regional Indian languages. Then there's step 2, Adalat AI. This is a transcription tool that's already deployed in over 4,000 courtrooms, generating real-time text of court proceedings, which is a game changer for reducing arguments over what was actually said. And step 3 is SUVAs, which is designed to read through and summarize giant stacks of bulky legal documents so judges can pull out the essential facts fast.
So these aren't just pie-in-the-sky concepts on a white paper. SUVAs, Adalat AI, and SUVAs are literally the administrative workhorses out there, actively chipping away at that 49 million case backlog as we speak.
Section 5. Common AI Court Misconceptions. Busting the Myths.
Okay, let's tackle the biggest myth out there right now. This huge fear of automated robot judges taking over and dispensing cold, calculated verdicts. The reality, which is totally cemented by these 2026 regulations, is that AI is strictly caged as a highly capable but heavily monitored administrative assistant. The rules mandate a human in the loop at all times. Plus, AI systems have to undergo continuous independent assessments for algorithmic bias, just to ensure they don't accidentally discriminate based on things like caste, religion, gender, or economic status.
Ultimately, yeah, algorithms can process data, summarize files, and translate languages infinitely faster than we can. But they require constant auditing, and they will absolutely never replace the moral authority, the discretion, and the conscience of a real human judge.
I'll leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. As we invite these machines to drastically speed up our legal system and clear out literally decades of backlog, how do we continually ensure they never, ever erode that deeply human core of justice? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this really helped you visualize and understand the future of AI in the courtroom.